about the papers. As you know, last video I will put a link here. I talked about sketch papers, and this time I will talk about what I call the basic papers. They are papers that the weight goes between 150 and 220 grams. Okay, not official classification, it's just a classification that I did for these videos. And I will start with this one that's by Canson too. I like their papers. They are not that expensive, and they are very good. So this is a paper, a grain. That means that there's texture. Okay, and this texture is I don't know if you can see quickly from. Yes, I think it's possible. You see that there's a very thin texture. It's a characteristic of Canson. Okay, this C is the feutre, is the fabric that they use to press the paper to have this texture, and it's exclusive by Canson. So I really liked this paper, and I tested two pieces of the same paper, and I have completely different results. So this is the one that you buy in sheets, big sheets, or in your paper store. And it seems that it's not coated, or because I had different results, but it works well for pretty everything, including the Copics and the other markers, and for also for watercolors. It's good for tests, for drawings that you are starting to sketch. It works very well for the pens too. So I'm pretty happy with this paper. And as I told you, I tested the version that comes in a pochette. It's a kind of envelope with that comes with 12 sheets. Okay, so it's about €4 for the pack, and it's the same paper, but you can see that the results were pretty different, especially for the watercolors. That here it's still very vibrant, it's still very transparent, and here it seemed that it absorbed too much. So I think this paper should have a kind of treatment, or I don't know in English the name, but kind of glue that you put in the paper so it doesn't absorb that much ink, and so it makes it better for watercolors. So I would not buy the, if you're going for this paper, I will not buy the separated sheets. I would go for the envelope, the pochette, because it gave me better results. Okay, for the Copics, I think the light is too strong, but you can see it's blended well, and for the other markers less well, but it's the marker, I think, is not the paper. So I'm pretty happy with this paper too, one of my favorites. Okay, the next paper I'm going to show, sorry, it's also by Canson. It's a classic paper by them, and I didn't like it that much. It dries not too fast, but at the same time it 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 becomes very opaque, the ink for the watercolors, and it deforms the paper. Of course, it's 180 grams, so not a watercolor paper, but I tried some other ones that didn't do this, and the thing that I didn't like it that it makes the watercolor very opaque. Okay, it loses the characteristics of the watercolor. It seems like gouache, and but it works pretty well for the other things, including acrylics. You can see that here, that's shiny, and oil pastels, and for colored pencils it works very well too. But it's not one of my favorites. And the good thing about this paper, it's the price. It's pretty cheap. Okay, so you can buy a block for €2.45. This is the basic price. And finally, one of that I like it too. It was a very good surprise, because this is a paper that's called I Love Art. It's I don't know how to say the brand. Is Gestacker. So I think it's German. 180 grams for 30 sheets. It costs €4, so not that expensive, and it worked pretty well for almost everything. The watercolors, they went smooth and they mix very well. For the colored pencils, they were some of my, it was one of my favorite papers. It works very good if you have Tria markers. I think you should try this paper. Graphite markers, they work well too. I forgot to say in the other video, but I tried to test these colors with two colors that blend very well naturally, and two colors that doesn't blend that well naturally, so I could see the extreme results. And for colors that blend very well, you can see that graphite had a very smooth result, and Copic too. So this area, blue and yellow here, very good. For Tria, very good, surprisingly good paper, because it's very cheap, and this is kind of a generic line of paper, so very good. I would recommend. So for this video, my favorite was for sure the Canson 180 grams, and the pochette. This was my favorite in this kind of basic paper. And my last favorite was this one. It's also by Canson. I don't know how to say, 1557, because it doesn't work well for the watercolors, and you can see here it saturates pretty fast and doesn't blend well. So okay, so it's my least favorite paper, but it's also the cheapest, so I think it's a bit natural. I really hope you like this video, that it was useful, and I will continue the series with talking about watercolor papers and also drawing papers. So I hope you like, and see you next.